Hello, everybody. Welcome to Work-Based Webinar Wednesday. We got a special treat for you today. We are talking about, are you ready for an interview or not? When people ask me if I'm ready, my response is always, I stay ready. So we're going to find out today if I'm ready or not. But we're also going to find out if you're ready. So I'm Dominique Bates. I am Rowan Salisbury School's Associate CTE Director of Work-Based Learning and Community Partnerships. And today I have with you one of my interns and I have a special guest. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Makaya McDaniel and I'm a senior at Norfolk Wayne High School.
Hello, I am Subrina Huff. I am a high school outreach specialist with Crosby Scholars in Rowan County.
Right. So, Subrina, since we're talking about interviewing today, why do you feel this topic is important? Why do you feel interview prep is important?
Well, let's start with this. Can you guys see my mouth? Can you see my mouth?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anything about my mouth stick out to you? If it doesn't, it should. I have on the wrong lipstick. So let's start there. This topic is important because if you're not ready, you never know when someone's interviewing you. So I'll take a minute to put on just some plain chapstick. You're going on an interview. You do not want to have on, for a young lady, you wouldn't want to have on lipstick that stands out before you walk in. That was more of a gold color. For a young man, if you have dry lips, make sure you're prepared that way. So it's those little things that could mess up an interview for you. So I think it's important because when you step into the room for an interview, all people have to go on is what they see. And it's a couple of things that as we go through today and we talk more about this topic that I want to point out to let you know, am I ready or are you ready for an interview or not?
I love it. So you said put on some chapstick to make sure that your lips are moist.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be chapped. So I got a question to follow that up because I see a lot of girls wearing this like the real lip gloss.
Oh,
are you supposed to wear the shiny lip gloss? Is that okay?
Thank you so much for asking that question. No, it is not. If you're going for an interview, I don't even care if you're going to a Mary Kay consulting store for an interview. Your lips should not outshine the sun when you walk through the door. Now, it's cute for everything else. I kid you not. It's really cute when it's a cookout or you're hanging out with your friends. But if you're going on an interview, you want to make sure, one, that if you're going to wear a lip color, that is something really flat. It does not pop, as we say, when you walk in the door. And when you talk about the lip gloss that's really shiny and sparkly and has all of the nuances in it that everyone wants now, it's not appropriate for an interview. And I can't leave my young man out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I must say again, get you some chapstick to put on right before you walk through the door. Put it in your pocket and just walk in before you walk through for the interview. Put a little bit on so that your lips are not chapped.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that. I have heard that before, and I got some feedback on that because you're going to be doing a lot of talking in that interview, right? And then when you start talking, spit just starts getting in the cracks of your lips, and you want to lick your lips a lot, and that's a distraction actually in an interview. So you don't want to distract. You want them to see you, right? And you want them to be blown away by your appearance, but at the same time, you don't want to distract them. So I love that. I love that principle. So tell me one more thing. What are the keys for preparing? When preparing for an interview, what are the keys to prepare?
the very first thing is knowing who you're interviewing with,
Mm.
knowing your audience.
Mm.
Whoever the interviewer is, sometimes you may go on an interview and it may be a panel type interview. So there are 3 of us on here right now. I've been to places where I've interviewed and there was a Zoom meeting interview prior to. So on the screen right now, you 2 are up above me. You could be part of that panel for an interview. So knowing who's going to be there and knowing exactly what they are looking for. I cannot stress enough how important it is to actually reread even the job description of what the company is looking for. Doing your homework on the company. How long have they been in business? Things of that nature, but really going back through that job description, whatever you're applying for. It could be, Dominique, your title again is the Associate Director for the CTE program.
Yes, of work-based learning, specifically
Work-based learning.
work-based learning.
Okay, so your job description entails a lot dealing with community advocacy, knowing what resources are available in the community. So I would I would take a stab at believing that that was in the description when you apply for the job.
Absolutely.
So able to have those types of discussions when you're preparing, but you have to do your homework ahead of time.
I like the research is very, 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 very important. Another thing that I like to add on to that is that you need to make sure that your resume, when you fill out your resume, that
Yes.
it matches the job. And so if you are applying for a job in sales, then your objective line on your resume needs to say something about sales. If you do have a background in education, you need to say something about I use persuasive language every day with my students. So you have to make it match up with the job that you are applying for. It has to align. If not, the people whoever's hiring, they're not gonna even look at your resume because they're gonna say, well, this person didn't prepare their resume for this particular job.
You're absolutely right. And wording is everything. I would even ask for students to have someone to read over your resume prior to. I don't know, Kaya, what your goals are after high school, but have someone to read over your resume prior to you even giving it out. A lot of times, if you're looking at the wording in your resume, it needs to line up. Like Dominique said, the wording definitely needs to line up with what the job is, but it also needs to line up with the proper language. If you are direct, if you are enthusiastic, if you are looking in the field of education and you are able to lead a class, prepare a lesson plan for the class, things of that nature, but make sure that you are looking at the language that needs to be in that resume.
Absolutely. So
is there a formula for the perfect interview?
Is there a formula for the perfect interview? Yes. There are a couple of things. So I asked you earlier if you could see that I have hoop earrings on. I cannot get away from this part before I finish answering that question. So just bear with me for a second. Please don't go to an interview with hoop earrings on. So I wore them for this specifically so you can see all the things I did wrong. Had on loud lipstick. I would never go to an interview with a V-neck dress on. I would prepare. So that's part of the formula. Remember, I said earlier, when you walk into the room, before you ever open your mouth, you could have the best resume ever. Like, it is sharp. It's sharper than the paper that it's on. But when they see you, when they see me, that's all they have to go on first. So either I've got to kill that interview, I mean, really bring my A game, or if they can hear me. Because remember, I had on gold color lipstick, earrings. So I encourage formula, make sure that you are attire ready.
Mhm.
Even if you're going to apply for a job at McDonald's, you need to be attire ready. You need to walk in as if I'm here to work today and not interview. Okay. The next formula, like we've discussed, make sure that who you are matches your resume. I've had people that I've interviewed for positions before, and they forgot what they put on their resume because they got the resume from online. It was nothing that they had ever did. It was not their resume. It was one that someone made up for them, and they didn't even know the information that was on there. So make sure that it lines up. The next thing that is a great part of nailing a resume is your body language, your eye contact. I've been sitting here. My least favorite word, I will say, and I've used it a couple of times. Can you tell me what you think it might be?
Yeah.
Don't use on an interview.
I try to get away from saying a lot.
Please, and note yourself. Even when you're listening to other people, start listening for that word. The more you listen for it, it will actually become a part of you saying, I just realized that they said about 6 times. You don't have to use a filler word. So when you're having an interview, if you have to take a moment and stop and ask the interviewer, so is this what I'm hearing you say, or is this the question that you're asking? If you need to repeat the question, you repeat it. Paraphrase what you think you heard them say while they're answering you. Prepare your answer in your head. So make sure that you're doing those things and really just keeping the eye contact. If there's something in the room around the desk of the interviewer that you can start a conversation about. Now, I will say that's something that you need to do at the beginning of the interview. Don't wait till the middle of the interview and point out that they're a Duke fan. But if you're going to do it at the beginning. Once you've shaken hands and you sat down and just hello, because most of the time they're going to ask you about yourself. And so you can say, I'm a Duke fan also. And I guess you guys know I'm a Duke fan, so excuse me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm with you on that one. We ride together on that one. So we are good. I like what you said about the earrings.
Mm-hmm.
I have a personal experience with wearing earrings. So it was when I was in college, I had an interview, and during my interview, I killed my interview. I killed it. I absolutely killed it. This is the feedback that I got. They told me we would have selected you, but you had on earrings, and we don't. That's not a part of our culture for the company. And so I missed out on a job all because I wore earrings to my interview. So gentlemen out there, if you're interviewing, don't wear earrings to your interview.
You.
Don't wear them at all. Don't try to wear your smallest ones. Just don't put them on.
And for young ladies, I will say now I have 2 holes in my ear. So I actually have on 4 earrings right now. But my diamond stud, I could have moved that, but I wanted to keep the hoop on to make that point, or just a small pearl. It does not have to be long and hanging. Your earrings that come down to your shoulder, leave those at home. You can wear those on the weekend, or you can wear them to celebrate when you get the job. But as far as wearing them on the interview, do not. And I encourage, because I'm sure she's doing this right now for the sake of, are you ready for an interview or not? So Kaya, I'm going to ask you is that gum good?
Yeah.
Not for the interview.
Nope.
But that's why you have it in. I know that's why you have it in right now, but not for the interview. Please remember to take it out for the interview.
Okay. I will.
That's good. That's good stuff. That's great stuff. So tell us about some resources that people can tap into if they are preparing for an interview.
Perfect question. So in Salisbury, there is the Goodwill Career Connection office that's on South Main Street. They have a lot of great resources for parents and for students. You can do your resume there. You can build your resume. We do for our Crosby Scholar students, we work with them on interviews or interviewing skills. We actually help them with that process as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at even if you're interviewing, and again, our topic today is, are you ready for an interview or not? And we're primarily talking about for the workforce, but there are a lot of colleges that you have to have an interview for to be considered. So that's one of the things that we offer through Crosby Scholars, is helping students to have a prepared interview, do a critique of their interview that they're preparing for college, and also looking at ways that you can build up your resume. We just had a author do an academy for Crosby Scholars and with our students and our staff. And the title of her book is Getting Hired. I will actually link that particular book title and the author when you post this. I don't have it in front of me right now, and I was looking around for it, and I don't have it because I knew that was one of your questions. I had it earlier, but the title of it is Getting Hired. One of the things that I will encourage is do your homework. Look, see what's available, whether it's resume building, whether it's interviewing skills. That's one of my favorite things, is actually talking to young people and doing a mock interview. Have someone do a mock interview with you, preparing you from the time that you get out of your car in the parking lot. If you are a cigarette smoker, you don't want to have cigarette smoke on your clothes when you go in. What if I'm allergic and I'm interviewing you? You don't know if that person is allergic. Don't smoke. So those are some of the things as far as resources. But I would definitely encourage everyone to tap into the resource there at the Goodwill Career Connection Center there on South Main Street.
So, what are some of your worst interview experiences?
My worst interview experience, the ones that I did not get the job. I would say that was the worst.
Agreed.
And actually, there were very few that I did not get the job. It was mainly either a choice that I decided not to go, or sometimes we make a decision about a job thinking it's the right fit for us, and it's not. So I would consider that to have been some of the worst ones. So yeah, none that were really, really bad, other than I will say there was one instance where the person that was interviewing me was not prepared. They had no clue. Yeah, you experienced that too, Kyle.
Yeah, I have.
They were not prepared. So if your interviewer, it's not always the interviewee that's not prepared. It may be the interviewer that's not prepared. And that in itself can say a lot about the company. Then you have to take a step back and say, hey, do I really want to work here?
Yeah, I had an interview like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I had thought I had wanted the job, but like once you started talking about it, I was like, am I sure I want to be a waitress? And then I had waited like an hour just for the manager to come out and interview me. It was terrible. I was like, yeah, I changed my mind.
Not good at all.
It was terrible. That's one of the first interviews that I've been to that's been like not organized, and I just did not want the job. I'm just like, never mind.
Exactly.
So Kaya, I know you've had a few interviews. Can you talk about some of like your best ones? Like what made it good?
So my very first interview was at Old Navy. Mm-hmm. And it was the best one because like it was well organized. It was an open interview, so it was a couple people there, and they did like activities with us as well as got to know us. Like it was we did like a find an outfit for your best friend or whatever, and it was really fun. And we walked around the store and got to meet different peoples, and it was just like, wasn't just like, what do you do? You're hired. It was like you really wanted to like get to know us. It was
Yeah.
I went to interview at Sonic like a couple days ago, and they just asked me what was my schedule, and they was like, "Well, we'll call you when we're gonna start." Like you don't want to know about me. Like I came up here all nervous for nothing.
Yeah. So did you prep? Did you prepare for those interviews? And if so, what did you do?
I definitely had an outfit prep.
Okay.
So for Old Navy, I wanted to dress more like dressy, because it's one of those stores, and it's a clothing store. And I was nervous though.
Yeah. Did you? So I'm trying to get to a point. Did you practice?
Yeah, in the mirror, I did.
Okay, good. Because when you're preparing for an interview, you can't practice too much.
No,
you just can't practice too much. And I like what you said, Subrina. You said practice from walking to the car, getting out of your car, how you gonna walk in, everything. You got to practice. How you gonna sit down?
Yes.
Everything. I like that.
Hands. Have someone and please don't practice with your best friend. They're not going to be as serious as you need them to be. I even go so far as to ask students, knock on my door. Even if we have a fake door, knock on the door, open the door, eye contact, shake my hand, wait for the interviewer to offer you a seat. Don't just walk in and plop down like we're old friends and you've been here forever. And really just being in the mode of, one, I'm professional. And you said something, Kai, that's very important. You made a distinction between Sonics and Old Navy. I'm curious as to how you dressed when you went to Sonics.
When I went to Old Navy, I had on like a dress, and then I wore like a cardigan with some dressy shoes, and I had my natural hair. I had some pearls. I always wear pearls.
Yeah, that's right, girl. That's right.
I don't wear hoops. And for Sonic, I just wear like a formal shirt with some jeans and some like Vans or something like that.
Do you think that you would have been appropriate, just as appropriate for Sonics as you were for Old Navy if you chose to wear the same outfit?
No.
So if you had reversed the outfits, you wouldn't have wore the Vans and the jeans and the shirt to Old Navy, and you wouldn't have wore the dress to Sonics.
No, I might have I would have worn a dress to Sonic, but I definitely wouldn't have worn what I wore to Sonic to Old Navy.
Okay, and the point I wanted to get to there is the dress would have been appropriate for either. The one thing that I don't think we talk about enough is this, that when you're dressing for a position, don't dress down to what you think, dress up to what they see.
Absolutely.
Don't dress down to what you think, dress up to what they see, because before you even do anything, they're looking at you. Before you open your mouth, before you sit down. Sometimes I have even stood at the window and looked out of the blinds because I knew an interviewee was coming in and I wanted to see them coming from the parking lot. Yeah.
So you just brought something else up to my mind, because it's two things, right? Okay. Because I want to talk about how people are always watching you. So you're always interviewing, no matter what you're doing.
Yes.
This is an interview right now. We're interviewing right now because people are watching this, and they're gonna see us, and we're gonna give off an impression.
Yes.
Which leads me to a first impression is a lasting impression. And you never know who you're going to run into. So you always have to be on your A game. I mean, always. And that's why you always have to be on your A game, because you never, ever, ever know who you're going to run into. And you never know when you're going to see that person again. And so whatever impression that you're giving off in the moment, and it only takes 20 seconds to get an impression of somebody. So
Exactly.
whatever impression that you're giving off in the moment is going to be that lasting impression. So if they see you 5 years from now and they're going to be like, oh, that's that person that was being rude to someone, so I'm not sure if I want to offer them a job.
Yes.
Or they'll say, that's that person that was being kind and outgoing and smiling and just being a positive person. So I'll think about giving them a job. And so you are constantly interviewing no matter what you're doing.
And I cannot tell you how many thoughts just ran through my mind when you were saying that. You're absolutely right. You are ever interviewing, ever. Like you said, we don't know who's watching this today. We don't know who needs to know how to interview, or an interviewer that thinks, wow, was I on time when I set up the appointment for Kaya to come in at 2:00, but I didn't come in the room to her till 3:00. That interviewer may remember, Kaya, that they made you wait for an hour, and they may call you back and say, hey, that wasn't cool. I have a phobia. A lot of my friends know I have a phobia, and my phobia is I do not like to have people waiting for me. I do not like to have people waiting for me. I believe that it is more important for me to be on time for what I'm supposed to do than for you to be ready when I get there. That's just me. So I think, and a good friend of mine said this years ago, if people don't respect your time, they really don't respect you. So it's important to respect people's time, and that way they will know how to take you. But if someone does not respect your time, something that we think we have a lot of it, but we really don't.
Right.
But you can respect my time, that says a lot. So even for the interview, that process, be on time. Be 15 minutes early. I think that's on time. 15 minutes early is on time. They're looking at that. The interviewer is looking for that. Set yourself up for success, even if you don't get the job. Every job is not meant for you. But even if you don't get the job, you were prepared. Go in with a prepared mind. What more can they ask for?
Yeah. So I cannot leave this webinar without saying this, because we're talking about being prepared. And every time I think about being prepared, I always think about the 5 P's. And this is something that everybody should remember. You can use this not only for interviews, this is for life. This is a life skill that everybody needs to understand and get.
Yes.
And the 5 P's are being properly prepared. Properly prepared prevents poor performance. And that's with anything that you do in life. And so your phobia, I like your phobia. You don't want anybody waiting for you. But another great phobia is the fear of failure.
Yes.
And if you're scared to fail, you can't do nothing but win. Because you're if you have a phobia, I'll say, not scared, but if you have a phobia of failure, then you can't do anything but win, because you're gonna make sure that you are properly prepared every single time. Because you just don't want it. You're just that afraid of losing, just that afraid of failure. And so I couldn't not say the 5 P's when we're talking about being prepared. Is there anything else that you would like to add, that you would like to talk about?
The last thing is just for high school students and middle school students, whoever watches this, parents, administrators. The best time for any of us to start preparing for an interview is today. You can have a job, but you're always making sure that you are employable. So always brushing up on your skills. Learn something new today. Learn something new that you did not know. It may be something you can add to your resume. Always look at opportunities to build your resume as far as certifications. I definitely want to add again a big shout out to the Goodwill Career Connection Office, because through RCCC, and a lot of people may not know this, but the city of Salisbury has money set aside that you can actually go through RCCC and get a certification. It may be medical billing and coding. It could be pharmacy tech. One of them is the truck driving, but this money can actually help someone go to get a certification and become employable. So consider it. It's definitely a great asset to add to your resume.
Absolutely. So, Miss Subrina, we really, really, really appreciate you being on with us today. And I know for a fact the people that are watching, they gained some knowledge. You dropped a lot of gems and jewels on them. And so somebody is going to gain a lot from this, and they're going to be prepared for their next interview. So we really appreciate you for being on with us and just making that time investment to to pour into some children. And so we are very appreciative.
Thank you for the invitation.
And so if you're watching this video, just know that we have, this is our 7th episode, and we have 6 other videos that you can go and see. You can look on our Facebook page, which is RSS CTE. You can go to our Twitter page, which is at RSS _ CTE. Our Instagram is RSS CTE. And we also have a YouTube channel that's RSS CTE. It's simple enough. RSS for Rowan Salisbury School, CTE for Career and Technical Education. And then we have a website. If you don't do social media, you do the web. So we have a website where you can go and view all of our videos, which is www.workbasewebinarwednesday.org. So before we get out of here, though, I want to play a game with Miss Subrina and Micaiah. It's called Last Man Standing. And so in Last Man Standing, what you have to do is we'll pick a letter, and then we have to name words that begin with that particular letter. And you can't use names. And we have to repeat each other. All right. And so, Miss Subrina, since you're our guest, we'll let you go first. And Kaya, since you're youngest, you're gonna go last. And because you smarter than us, you got more brain power than us. Trust me, you do. And we're just gonna go from there. So what's the letter?
The letter is L.
The letter is L. So you go first.
Lane.
Lane looking.
Lane looking lick.
Lane looking lick love.
Lane looking lick love Lily.
Lane looking lick love Lily lust.
Lane licking lick love Lily lust less.
Woo. Guess what? I'm glad that you messed up, because I don't know where we are.
Listen,
Lane love licking
I
love
wanted to call a name so bad.
Lane live. I'm lost.
Lane.
Lost is my word.
I don't know.
You got it, Kaya?
Yeah.
Why didn't I stick with the B, Kaya?
Yeah. We should have did something easy on the first one.
I know, right?
All right. We're gonna play one more round, and then we're gonna get out of here. Miss Subrina, you picked the letter again.
B.
Woo.
Book.
Book, bus,
Book, bus, bag.
Book, bus, bag, bets.
book, bus, bag, best,
Mm-hmm.
bucket.
Book, bus.
Thank you.
Come on, Kaya.
I was thinking of my words so hard.
Awesome. All right, so that was good. We're just gonna end it right there, and we're gonna get off. Once again, thank you for your time, and everybody who tuned in. Thank you, and we are out.
Bye.
Bye.